Can you see that wreck? No.
I can see red.
Okay, yeah. Just keep an eye out for the red.
All I want to say is, hey, what's up, you guys? Just take a second.
This is just cringe just when me and Lee were recording for Radio 1. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to J-Lou Podcast number 1. I'm Jeff and this is Lou. Hello.
Hello.
So finally we've got around to doing this. We've been talking about doing this for like 2 years now.
Yeah, I think since we met.
Yeah, since we met.
3.5 years.
Yeah, I don't know about you, we're definitely both motivated to do this. We enjoy podcasts ourselves, and we always have these conversations where we're like, why aren't we recording this?
Yeah, mostly it happens in the car and it's pretty inconvenient, but
Yeah.
we have these awesome conversations and we keep saying, oh, we should turn this into a podcast.
Exactly, and being quite, I think, intelligent, creative people, or insightful, always hungry for new information though. This podcast kind of motivates us to do that and go and research into things, and yeah, hopefully you guys will interact with us and say, no, you were wrong there, or like, hey, I found this out, go talk about that, you know.
Or maybe no one will ever watch it.
Or maybe, yeah. But then we'll show
our grandchildren that we tried.
And then, you know, yeah, it'd be funny either way, like, you know.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
We're both new to the whole, we've never really done anything like this. Jeff had a little stint on Radio 1, was it? Radio 1?
Yeah, that's
a
my
few
claim
years
to
ago.
fame.
So he's
Yeah.
kind of a pro. We've got our red wine to calm our nerves.
Yeah. Any excuse, really.
Also, it's a Sunday evening, so...
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's a little bit of an introduction. Obviously, you got the props going as well.
This was not... We just had these lying around, which is so sad, but we didn't. They're not podcasts.
They're not. We didn't buy it from the podcast. We just literally... We got it. What was I going to say?
So, maybe we should talk about what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, but first I just wanted to say...
the Radio 1.
I want to look back on this video and listen to this podcast and sort of be like, oh my god, look how primitive it was. And that's hopefully in like 100 podcasts time, if we're still doing it. I want that day to come.
No, we'll still be doing it. Don't do the if.
Yeah, exactly.
Law of
That's
attraction,
right.
sir.
True, you got to be 100% committed.
That's a good podcast topic, law of attraction.
It is.
That will be episode number 101.
Yeah.
But today, we're going to be talking about lucid dreaming because it's something that we religiously talk about, I mean, almost every day at this point. And we wake up every morning and, like, if we've had an interesting dream, we share it and kind of analyse it, and we're both super interested in what they mean and what it's all about and learning the skills to lucid dream.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, this is a topic that we find quite interesting because
super interesting.
I'm kind of like a scientific kind of guy. I want to know why things are happening, and I'm willing to admit that lucid dreams are nothing but just like electrical signals in our brain, but also being quite good at it now, and having experienced it, and how amazing it is, how beautiful and crazily real it is. Well, what is real? That's the question.
Yeah, that's a whole
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but it's like, that's what makes it so fascinating, because in a dream I could, you know, control the weather and do this, and I feel the rocks, the gravel and the sand, like as if I can feel this now. It just makes me really curious as to what's going on. Really?
But I think, following from your point, you're a very scientific, logical, rational person. And I think I'm very much like spiritual and will believe
Yeah.
I'll believe less loosely factually based things, if that makes sense. Whereas that's why we have such interesting, sometimes debates, because you'll look at it from a completely different point of view, and I'll add a little bit of like fluff, maybe, like as people would refer to it.
Yeah.
I'm more accepting of things like that, and Jeff needs, everything needs to be backed up for sure.
To an extent, but I do also believe that actually the truth, the universal truth of what is life or whatever, what is this universe, it's actually a combination of the two, like science and, you know, the spiritual realm or whatever. because funnily enough, don't want to go down a rabbit hole here, but there's actually new scientific sort of opinions on reality that actually point towards you know, something that we've not really thought about before, and like intelligent design might, we're not talking about some dude sitting in a cloud here, but there's laws of nature which, you know, could actually be intelligent design. And yeah, I don't know, that's a bit of a transgression there. So let's go back a little bit. And so when do you remember the first time you lucid dreamed?
Lucid dreamed it?
Lucid dreamed
you
it.
did a lucid? You did me a lucid.
At what point do you think you
I don't know about the first time I went lucid, but I definitely had recurring dreams when I was a kid. I mean, I was probably like 8-ish, and they kept repeating that I would be walking outside in my old garden, in my old family home, and we had like big slate tiles in the garden, and I remember walking up to these tiles, and when I hit one tile, it would like flip, and then I'd get taken down like underground into this like terrifying abyss.
Right.
That was like really like something out of a Tim Burton film, like really trippy, and like there'd be, I remember this like big banana like driving a bus. It was like a total trip. And I remember I kept having it, and it kept kind of freaking me out, but also really interested me. Really interested me. And I think I managed to kind of learn out of repetition that I shouldn't stand on that slate. So I guess I was definitely controlling the dream, but it was in a very different way.
Well, you controlling the dream? You mean you wasn't really controlling the dream, was you?
No, I just
aware of it.
It was like memory. It was like I would have the dream, but my memory would kick in and be like, "Oh, okay, don't stand on that step," and then somehow I wouldn't. And obviously, I was so young, I had no idea.
Yeah.
But I still remember the dream very vividly, and I remember it was one of those dreams that you think about for a few days after you have it. It was very real and very bizarre.
Okay.
But I think it kind of probably stemmed from that, and then just getting older and just general kind of the internet making me become aware of lucidity.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say pretty much there. What about you? When was the first time you became aware of it?
Well, I've always had like crazy dreams. Like the most vivid dreams I could remember. I weren't aware they were dreams though. Were like plane crash dreams, which is a bit weird. Like, because I was really super young, I don't know what all that was about. But the actual first time I physically changed the environment in my dream, I was like driving a car, although I was too young to drive, but I was driving anyway, and I had no control over the car. I was about to crash into a building, and then I just literally said like, no, that's not happening.
That's cool.
And literally like ripped the house out of the ground.
How old were you?
Must have been about 12, something like that.
That's quite young.
Yeah. So it was always there at the back of my mind, like, oh, that's possible then. But I didn't really think much of it, and I don't know what it is that got me into it. I think it probably YouTube. There's one guy in there in particular in his bedroom. I'll see if we can link it. Actually, he talks about the different stages. So you got like a minor and like say stage 1 minor and major, and then level 2 minor and major, and so it's like quite
Is that levels of sleep or levels of dreaming?
levels of awareness in the dream.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
I guess what's the most sort of interactive dream you've had?
I mean, I've kind of mastered flying, and I'm just thinking very quickly, should we maybe describe what lucid dreaming is for people who are not completely aware of it, because we've just gone in the deep end.
Yeah.
And we kind of, because we talk about it so much, I think I just assume people know what it is, but I remember speaking to certain friends and they're just like looking at me with a blank face.
A lot of people listening to this now will be like, oh, what's this hippie crap. I mean, so okay, well, the many stages of this is like we've sort of talked about what it is on a basic level. So like
controlling your dreams, becoming aware that you're dreaming.
Yeah, sometimes just becoming aware of the dream is like a real powerful experience. And then there's different ways you can induce this. It can happen by accident, or if you want to become like a regular at this, if you will, there's things you can do. So like
can kind of train your brain into realizing that you're dreaming.
And the fundamental way to do that initially is to keep a dream journal. So when you wake up in the morning, obviously we all pretty much forget what happened, right? So if you wake up, even if it's in the middle of the night and you remember a dream, you need to write it down. But
I think to come from that, like you went through a phase maybe a year ago or a year and a half ago where you were having a lot of dreams about being in a council estate, and then there was a lot of dreams about being in an area of public transport, right? Like you're in a train station or whatever.
Yeah. So
to wake up from that and write it down, you'll be able to see a pattern, and then basically it will go.
Yeah.
When you're in the dream, you'll be able to realize because you've noted it and put it into your memory. And then you'll be able to be like, oh, okay, right, I'm at a train station, maybe use another couple of methods that you can do to become lucid, but it's just kind of dream triggers. What are they called? Like dream
signs.
Dream signs, yeah.
And then, so that's what you do there. And the other thing to do is something called reality checking.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So you do this throughout the day.
When you're awake.
In your waking life. I mean, the classic one is to look at your hand.
That's the one I always use every time.
Yeah, so I'm not disciplined enough to do it. And the other thing to do is pinch your nose and try and breathe.
Yeah, I never
in a
do
dream,
that.
you'll be able to actually breathe through your mouth. The other thing to do as well is
clench your teeth, and you can try and put your tongue through. It's hard to explain, but obviously when you're awake, your tongue won't be able to get through your teeth, but when you're dreaming, your tongue will just kind of come through.
Yeah.
Because there's like, the laws there, in the dreamland are completely different. But when you look at your hands especially, and it's time and time again, I've done this every time I lucid dream, like almost on a monthly basis. I just look at my hands, I'm like, okay, I think I'm dreaming, let's just check my hand. And I mean, every single time, it's very weird, but every single time you never have 5 or 4 fingers and 1 thumb. You always have like maybe an extra finger coming out of here, or like 1 missing, or like 2 thumbs, and your hands just don't look, the way that they should, and it happens every single time. It's actually terrifying when you're learning and you look down and your hands look, and then it gets, it's a whole other conversation, but you get to the point where you're like, okay, crap, I'm dreaming, like what do I do? Like you get panicky, and a lot of people for a long time just go through the process of realizing they're in a dream and then waking up, and then they get too excited essentially.
The other one is the time.
Yeah, the time's a good
one.
Check
the time on your phone in your dream, and then look at it, look away, look again. It'll be a different time every time without fail.
There's no sense of time when you're dreaming. It's really simple stuff like that. Kind of, you'll look at the clock and it'll be 11:04, and then you'll look straight back and it will be like 3:09 or something. Yeah.
So dream journal. So the regular one for me is being on a train station or on a train. so there's no trains around here in Cornwall, or we're in Devon now. But there's no train. There's no way I'm getting a train. I'm not commuting anymore. I used to all the time. So it's obviously going to be. I should be questioning that, because when I'm waiting for a train in the dream, that's a really mundane task. I'm not like, I'm just there like.
And nothing's abnormal. It's just kind of.
No. So doing the reality checks and being disciplined, doing it every like half an hour, like ritually, like, and don't even think about it, and then you'll do it in a dream, and you're like, oh, hang on.
That's weird.
Because in the dream you'll think you're disciplined still to do it, and then it's the weirdest thing. Like, so, just gonna talk a little bit about the most immense moment when I realised I was dreaming. It was just like after looking online. So there's different induction techniques as well. So there's the journal sort of allows you to pick up on it, so you become aware when you're already in a dream. But there's ways to become lucid.
As you fall asleep.
Yeah, as you fall asleep. So like, one of them is wake-induced lucid dreaming, or wild. I'm not very good at it, but basically I think this is where you wake up in the middle of the night, like you set an alarm, because all this happens in the REM stage, in the later stages of the dream. And you dip in and out of the REM stage throughout your sleeping patterns. Yeah, so it's most powerful in the early morning, like between 5 and 7. A lot of people report that they have like the most craziest dreams when they have a lay-in or something. Yeah, for sure. So this is where, like, awesome. So you really got to get up, do stuff for half an hour, just get on with your like normal routine, like don't do anything crazy, don't like. Or just go to the toilet, get a drink, maybe. Yeah. And then when you go to sleep, that's just going to really heighten it. I've not really fully explained it, that I'm missing something here, but yeah, look into that. And then the other one, the one I used was called finger-induced lucid dreaming. So I've never tried that. Yeah. So you sort of go to sleep, and basically your body. Oh, yeah, I've just remembered about Wild now, but it's pretty much the same thing. You go to sleep, and the trick is to let your body's going to go to sleep, but your brain needs to stay awake, and that's possible to do, and that's a trippy thing in itself. So what the finger thing's doing is basically you move your finger not like a millimeter, like maximum, like none of this, just sort of like just enough. You just become aware. Yeah, but really. Exactly. So the point in that is it's giving you something just to focus on a little bit, but the rest of your body begins to sleep. So when you know that feeling when you want to turn over, you fight it. That's actually a message from your like brain, your body, to say, is it okay to fall asleep? If you do roll over, your body knows you're still conscious. But what happens is you slowly you become like paralysed effectively. Yeah, that's I think why I've never done it. Yeah. I'm so scared of sleep paralysis. It's unreal. Yeah. I've never actually had it. I've had it a couple of times. But this is the way to get it. Yeah. So like that feeling, that terrifying feeling that, you know, there's someone at the end of the bed or whatever. I mean, I think from the few stints that I've had of sleep paralysis, it's always when I'm coming out of a lucid dream or when I'm trying to control it and it goes a bit wrong. But I think actually I went through a real stage of, I was probably 16 or 17. Back in the days, weirdly, I was listening to Bring Me the Horizon a lot, and I read something about the lead, I can't even remember his name now, but the lead singer dealt with a problem called old hag syndrome, which is this syndrome where people have sleep paralysis. They're like lying in bed, unable to move, completely aware of what's going on, and they basically see like an image of an old hag woman like over the bed. And I think I wouldn't have known about that, but the few times that I have had sleep paralysis, I've always tricked my brain into seeing something, but I think that's because of previous knowledge of it. I don't think that's an actual... It's actually been documented throughout human history. It's a real thing. It's a thing, yeah. It's very bizarre. The way to overcome that is obviously to stay calm, because your brain is hallucinating. It's like, oh, hey, I can't move. There must be a reason for it. oh, there's an attacker or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're not selling lucid dreaming.
Trying to get a response. Yeah, this is like
but this is a risk though, so it's worth talking about. The trick to that would be to be like, just believe that it's fine, and
it's just awareness,
and just like
faith.
You can actually rise up, like, and this is where you sort of get this out of body experience in a way. But that's not what happened to me. So I didn't go into that pitfall. I did the finger thing, and then my eyes were closed. But then I woke up in my dream room. So it was my room, but there were a few details that I know wouldn't.
But that can be very unnerving.
Yeah. It was hyper realistic.
Yeah.
But I didn't get scared. It was like the most exciting feeling, and it was weird. Like my whole brain felt like it was rushing with blood, and I was like, "That's it. I've done it. What I've been reading." I wasn't sure if it was true or not.
It was very exciting.
Yeah. And then I was like, "This is a real thing." And since then, flying's not been too much of an issue.
But I think going on from that, everyone, when they become lucid and they know about lucidity, a lot of things is like, okay, I actually really hit a stage, and I'm still kind of there a little bit, in that you become lucid and you put so much energy into becoming lucid, and then when it happens, you're kind of like, oh, like, what do I do now? Like, what should I do? And the obvious ones, which everyone goes for, is trying to fly and trying to have sex with someone, trying to manifest someone
that's so true,
and have sex with them, because it's like, I don't know why, it's just a very, I guess it's something that you could achieve in dream that you can't achieve, like, in day-to-day living conscious life.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think, but the thing is with flying is I can make myself fly pretty well, but I think one of the things with flying is you should actually try to jump first. So instead of being like, okay, I'm gonna just take off and fly, it doesn't always work like that. So you still need a level of rationality to be able to manage it, and be able to, for your brain and your body to be okay with it. So what you should actually do is you stand at one end of the room and you think, oh, okay, I'm just gonna like bounce, like a really big leap to that end of the room, and then that happens, and then you can kind of go from there, and you can, it's essentially like gigantic leaps until you're in the air and you're airbound for a long time.
Yeah, so if you try and do too much too soon, it dissolves in front of you.
Yeah,
so
and
like,
you get too excited.
Yeah, that I'm finally, it's taken me a long time to just because I'm not disciplined as much as I'd like to be, but obviously through time you get experience, and now I don't get adrenaline anymore. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Now I have to try and put into practice everything I've learned. So a good tip is, well, okay, I'm dreaming, right, and then it's got that fuzzy, dreamy feel. But if you like rub your hands together,
oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Sharpens your focus.
Yeah, and I heard another one. It's a good one. Is to like. It's difficult to just manifest something in front of you.
It's very difficult.
Yeah. So that's like some advanced thing.
I think you have to be actually quite creative to get there as well.
But the trick is though, whatever you want, it can be behind you, right? So you say, I'm going to turn around, and there's going to be a bottle of Lucozade, and then sure enough, it'll be there. But your brain can handle the fact that it'll be there, but it can't handle the fact it just popping into existence there.
But I think a good one, I think you actually told me, you must have heard it somewhere on a podcast or something, but a good one that I use quite a lot is when I get to the stage of, like, I do have quite a lot of things that I do when I go lucid, but one of them is what you said. I'm like, if I don't know what to do with myself... Sorry?
You just said do, by the way.
Wow, sweetie. I got really panicked. I was like, I said what? Me? So one of the good ones is turning around and being like, there's a door there, and that door is going to take me somewhere, and you don't necessarily think about where it's going to take you, but you kind of, like, I like to see it as there's this can get super hippie and maybe even religious, but I don't link it to religion or anything. I believe there's kind of a dream maker, like a dream god, and actually that's me in my mind, but I see it as like as an author. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn around, there's going to be a door, and then whatever you want to show me, you can show me, and I've opened the door, and sometimes I'm in like beautiful like green mountains, or sometimes I'm like by a stream, or sometimes in my family home, but you don't have to necessarily think about it. And you're right, you have to let your brain think that it's a rational thing. You turn around, there's a door there. It has to be And sometimes the weird thing is I had a dream where I was in a cottage and I was talking to you, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to go have some fun with this dream. And then I turned around and there was a door, but it was like, I mean, the door started like here on the wall and went up, so I had to like crawl up into the door. So it's never really as you expect, but...
The one dream that I had, which I was lucid, but I didn't have control over, but in a way, but I was the dream was me. I was on this is like, I could determine this as a religious experience though, right? So what happened was, I could have been a god, like, I don't know how to explain it. I was the
Thinking
earth.
quite highly of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to be fair, like, who's to say we're not? We're the same. We are one being experiencing itself.
Sweet. This is our first podcast. We're just gonna keep exactly. nice and shallow.
Yeah, true. And basically, I was flying over these mountains, and these clouds were all morphing. But as I moved through, there was this like impossibly beautiful music.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Like there's no. So what I said at the beginning of this podcast is it our brain just sort of making it up, you know? But how did I make this music?
But then there's a lot of theories out there that like every single face you see in a dream, you've seen somewhere in your life, that your brain isn't actually capable of creating faces in your dream state.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a theory.
It's just you just got to procedurally generate like you got basic framework, like, 2 eyes, nose, mouth, and you just like tweak it. Like it's easy to generate faces. Like if you and me could draw 1,000 faces on paper right now, it's slightly different. So we know we can generate faces. I guess I don't. That's just
I mean, it's a theory. It's part of me is like, well, what's that thing about crows? Like crows remember faces for like a crazy amount of years. So I always attach it to that. I'm like, you might not be aware. I mean, what do we use? Like 10% of our brains a day to day. You might not be aware. I mean, how many people?
That's a myth. I need to look into that. Maybe 10% at a time, but we don't. Yeah. It's not like we're just using this bit and this
the whole time. No, for sure.
Anything, yeah.
But I mean, you know, think of all the people in the world, especially in London, like walking past all these commuters.
But the thing is, with this music, like I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
This isn't like something I could just go listen to.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
This was like 5-dimensional, like, and it was so beautiful, the music. Now, I know, but this is what freaks me out. This is why I'm sitting here talking about it. It was, and I'm like, is that in me?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a musical person. I can't create a symphony or whatever like that. Or if I can, how do I access it? And if I can, if it is in there, how was I able to access it in that moment?
Where was it, you know? And
then the other side of the story is, I didn't. Or I did access it, but not in here. It was, I tuned into it somehow. And like altered states of consciousness and...
tapping into something else.
You're like, your brain's like a radio and you're changing the frequency and now you're tuning into something. And, you know... I don't know. It's a whole different thing.
But that's why like a lot of things that we talk about quite a lot is things that there is not a definitive answer, and there never necessarily will be, which is kind of, it gets under my skin, but also I love it. Like I love hearing different theories because any theory kind of counts if it can be justified, and that's what I love so much.
And the search of truth or whatever, like of knowledge. It almost feels like impossible and like, why should we bother like that? We'll never know, like, we'll never know what the universe is. But at the same time, we shouldn't stop looking, because all the best things of humanity have come from seeking knowledge. Unfortunately, most of it's been trying to kill each other, but I mean, like exploring space, like I think that's something the whole of humanity can get behind. Like, not EU trade deals and like America's tariffs on steel and aluminium, like no.
There goes our American trade tariff on steel and aluminium podcast out the window. I'm so excited for that.
Spoilers.
Blown it.
But yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, why does why would we want to go to Mars? Oh yeah, because we can. Like this, and that's a really cool, exciting thing.
I think something else I wanted to talk about with lucid dreaming is the feeling of euphoria in the first couple of times that you lucid dream. I think that is one of the most, that is something that made me so interested, and I was already very into it, but I had a dream a couple of years ago. I hadn't had a lucid dream for a while, and I hadn't thought about it for a while. I hadn't actually thought about it for about 2 or 3 years, and then I met...
Get your arm off the table. Sorry, I just keep hearing...
Oh, sorry.
What are you saying?
I forgot.
Derailed you hard. My bad.
I'm having a brain fart. Okay, so I hadn't thought about lucid dreaming for a couple of years. I went through a phase of being really obsessed with it, and then I sort of just gave up for a couple of years and didn't think about it. And then I met Jeff, and then we got chatting about it because we both had an interest. But a couple of years ago, I had a dream, my first lucid dream in this session of being obsessed with it. I had a dream where I was in a swimming pool, and I became aware that I was dreaming, and I basically dove? Is that the word? Oh, dove? Oh!
I want to say yes, though.
Doved?
Dived?
Did a dive?
I don't know.
Gave me a dive? I don't know. I went underwater. And
how, though?
Wow.
Daved.
A Dave.
Daved. There's just some guy there called Dave who puts you in the water. He's just sitting there like with a little rolling.
No, you're skinny.
You're right.
Why is every caricature you ever do got to have a bloody rolling? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Alright then. Thanks, Dave. Anyway, Dave put me underwater, and I could breathe underwater.
Yeah.
And I remember like swimming underwater, and I was just in like a swimming pool. I think it was like the Bude swimming pool where I grew up. For those American viewers that don't know where Bude is.
To be honest.
Should specify to all those people.
Portuguese viewers, to be fair.
Lebanese. I remember I could breathe underwater, and I had this like insanely euphoric feeling. Like it was the best. I mean, I can't even describe. Like the only way I can, just like, it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. See,
and that's what gets you excited and gets you lose the lucid dream because you get so pumped.
Exactly. Pumped. What is it though? So I'm thinking now, why would you be euphoric? And
I don't actually know the science of it behind it as to why.
I don't know the science. Well, I do know the science because I'm in neurochemistry, but it's like, why would you get that reaction?
Of neurochemistry, like I mastered it.
Yeah, I mastered it.
I know it.
Yeah, Oxford are like, Jeff, how do we do that? How do we teach these youngins?
Hi.
How do we teach Jeff? Jeffrey, come down here, up here. Where are you now?
Okay.
What is it? No, but maybe it's because this is hippie. I've gone full blown hippie in one glass of wine. Maybe you're getting that feeling because you're reminded in this like transcendental state.
Oh, I know where you're going. That's hippie.
Yeah. So this is a transcendental state. Like I cannot describe to you guys the feeling of having ultimate control over your environment. Like you are godlike.
And when we say ultimate control, I mean you can literally control like the weather, the building, where you want to be, what country you want to be. If you want to be in like planet, if you want to be in planet, then you can.
Yeah. Like I can rip the whole universe apart or create a new one. But the one thing we don't have control over, which we haven't talked about, which is interesting, really interesting, is the dream characters.
That's a very interesting point, and that's something that really upsets me.
Yeah, so the people you meet people in your dreams, and the interactions can go in any way. A
big report of lucid dreamers is if you actually go up. This tripped me out for a long time. It really freaked me out. If you go up to a dream character.
When you're top up, by the way.
No, I know. You're gonna have to go get the bottom.
I'll
take the show.
You crack on.
No, basically, if you oh no, Jeff, I've had a brain fart. I can't.
Dream characters.
If you go up to a dream character, and you say like, "Oh, did you know that we're in a dream?" They like freak out. It's a real common report that people or the dream characters will just kind of, I don't know, they'll just look away. They'll be like, nah, we don't, or they'll just deny it. They'll be like, no, this isn't a dream, this isn't a dream. So it's like this weird disagreement that I don't know how to describe it, you know?
Yeah, they can just disagree like you would now if I came up to you now.
So if I'm like, oh, did you know you're in a dream? And he'd be like, no.
Or they can get quite aggressive.
They can get aggressive, yeah, that happens a lot, and they can kind of really disregard you. So I played with that for a few months, and I've kind of got there now. But I was having a dream where I came out of it was absolutely terrifying, actually. It was one of the worst lucid dreams I've ever had. But I came out of our old house, and at the end of our kind of like pathway was my car, and Jeff was sitting in the back of it. And something had happened where we were like moving out or something, and it was all just a really weird dream, but also quite realistic. And I looked in the car, and Jeff was like, he turned his head to me, and he had this like absolutely terrifying sort of demonic smile on his face, and he just looked really distorted and weird, and like just like that. Imagine that being a demonic smile, like Jeff.
We got to zoom in on it.
But he had this like really so scary. And then I was like, okay, that's horrible, and like looked up the street, and there was this. Really? I mean.
Test.
I mean.
Test.
There was a black shadowy figure up the top of the street, and I looked at Jeff and his demonic smile, and was like, oh, okay, cool, we're in a dream, that's fine, I can deal with that. And then I turned around, and there were all these people, like a queue of people coming out of the house, following me. And I went up to one of them, and I was like, oh, did you know we're in a dream? And the dream character was like, yeah, did you see that black shadow up there? Like, you need to... I mean... You're such a troll.
Black shadow.
Yeah, so they were like, oh, did you see that black shadow up there? And I was like, no, don't worry, like, we're in a dream, and I can actually control that. I was like, if I actually just ignore that, I own this place, and that's gonna go away. And the dream character like freaked out, was like, nah, like as if I was a crazy person approaching someone in the street saying like, we're in a dream, like, you know, someone that you definitely avoid.
Yeah.
But anyway, as it happened, the dream character freaked out. I turned around, the black shadow had gone. Yeah. But it was just that interaction with dream characters doesn't always... It's peculiar. It's a very interesting part of it.
Yeah, I mean... reading reports is the best thing you can do. If you're this far into the podcast and you just quit and thinking we're talking... I mean, if you've gone this far, you must have some sort of interest in it.
Or you're my mum.
Hi, Dad. I love how I said that. I'm actually covering my moobs because he's doing really well. Losing weight at the moment.
Oh, Slimmer of the Month. Shout out to Kenneth.
Slimmer of the Week again. He's got it like 4 times in a row now. He needs to lose 3 more pounds, and he would have lost 2 stone.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, man.
Since when? Like Christmas?
Since about Christmas time. So
that's a lot.
Less than 3 months.
He's a legend.
3 months. I don't know. What's the date? How do you have dates?
How do you date?
How do you date?
That's cool. Well done.
That's cool.
Shout out to Papa K.
Papa K. Slimmer of Penge.
Slimmer of my life.
Slimmer of the stars.
Slimmer of the stars. Even when we're lucid dreaming, he would still be Slimmer of the Month.
Yeah, he'll come in. That's a dream character. You can't have no control over it. It's like yeah, this is a dream. It's like, I don't care. Losing weight. Put my mind to it.
Lost another pound in the last minute.
Yeah. Okay, we're derailed here.
We've had some wine.
Not enough really, to be honest.
Why do you keep scratching your nipples?
I'm scratchy. I'm itchy.
Scratchy.
I'm scratchy. Why is that? I think I don't want to do it on camera, but I might have been bitten. I've been bitten.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Right. Talk about dream characters.
Dream characters. Oh yeah. Well, actually, yeah. Someone online said.
On
so you know
on the
true.
internet. So it's a reliable source.
They said that they went up to a dream character and they were like, "You're not real."
Oh yeah, that's not a good thing.
And then
they can get
you need to get your arm off the table, man. You're gonna get complaints
from our Lebanese viewers.
It's fine, apart from the hippie shit and
elbowing the table. We do need to.
Yeah, we're gonna get a boom mic and all that jazz when we get all that money that we don't have, and then we win that lottery. So he said like you don't exist, and then the dream character was like, nah, I do. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Like,
it get really aggressive.
Trying to get on with my life here, and then they're like, no, you don't. Like, I can prove it, and then he'd do like some like crazy dream thing, and then the dream character had a mental breakdown in front of him.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, that's crazy.
That's not a good time.
So, and then obviously, so I'm not saying that these dream characters are real. I'm quite comfortable saying that it's maybe your subconscious.
The general consensus is that it's an extension of your consciousness. Wow.
So yeah, that's quite. How do you do that? How do we get under your clothes?
Who's they? I mean,
Tyrone. Tyrone's our
lover.
Is that racist?
So
edit this. we need a help. Don't worry, kind of shit.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Dream characters.
I'm done with dream characters. Don't talk about me. What else is interesting though?
I don't have anything else to
say. I mean,
say.
why would anyone? Okay, let's talk about why would you want to control your dreams? Why would you go out of your way?
I think the one word that comes to my mind is curiosity.
Yeah, curiosity.
I think that if you can do something, so many people, even people that I've spoken to, people that I'm good friends with, would just roll their eyes and be like, I don't get it, it's hippie crap, and I don't, why would you want to do that? Like, there are
Tibetan monks that have been practicing this since.
I mean, there's a whole career path to this, isn't
when
there?
did they invent monks?
When did they start to monk?
Yeah, they've been monking for like
they've
millennia.
Been monking for a while.
They've been monking hard up in those mountains, man. So dream yogi, I think they call it. So that's basically the art of controlling, and these are the same guys that can control their body temperature and stuff. They're sitting out on an icy mountain, like in a thong, like, and they're steaming, like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can control,
mountain,
and that's the thing. So that's the thing, right? You can Google that right now. There's a monk sitting there.
So aggressive. You can Google it right
now. And he's got steam coming off him on the mountainside.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that's the thing you can do with your mind. Whereas like someone trips on the curb and like that's it, coma. Whereas this guy, what I'm saying is like a minor thing might affect you.
Yeah.
Where in a really profound way.
Yeah.
And on the other end of that spectrum is, and that guy in Amsterdam who can swim around in the ice water just by like breathing. So the human body
Mind over matter.
Can do amazing things, and I know in this culture, we've been trained to laugh it off, like, what's he talking about? He's high, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and we feel a certain way when we're trying to talk about it, which is weird. It's like science. Science is about discovery. That's what science is. It's like trying new things. Like, why is the sun doing that? Oh, I don't know how it's doing that. Do you know what? We're going to have to invent a rocket and go up there and have a look. Do you know what I mean?
I'm like trying so hard to suppress the giggle. You're like, why is the sun not doing that? Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
What's it doing that for?
By the way, you were like, oh, I don't know.
So,
as if someone in the world has had that conversation. Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, some guy comes up to some lady like, yo, hey ma'am, why is that ball?
Ma'am,
why is that ball of fire doing that?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. No, but I got a racket.
We've literally lost the plot. All of our viewers are going to be so
This started
pissed.
so seriously. It started so seriously. We must have been like stick figures. That's like podcast number 1. But no, it's about having fun, guys. Come on.
No, but lucid dreaming is a super interesting
It's
thing.
super interesting, and if you want to say, that's fake, it's not.
It's not fake news.
It's not
this is not fake news. We're here to warn you.
Like, it's real.
There's so much literature on it, and there's like even Reddit, the subreddits on Reddit are amazing. Like, I sit and scroll through them for hours, you know, hearing different reports. And what freaks me out is so many people go into lucid dreaming and report the same things. Like, how is that possible? How? Someone in Iceland is reporting the same thing as someone in New Zealand.
I'll tell you what, in the next few podcasts we need to talk about it, and it is the simulation theory.
Oh, that's so your kind of... That's
me,
your...
Because the scariest thing about simulation theory is it explains everything. It explains the entire universe.
But of course it can, because, I mean, you could... The thing is with simulation theory is immediately justifiable. You can say, like...
It almost makes it too easy, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But as Elon Musk said...
Oh, our baby boy.
Oh, I love Elon Musk.
Obviously,
if you're watching,
doesn't?
if you're listening...
Elon, hi!
Elon, hi! I love what you did with the
I love what you're
rocket,
doing. I love your work.
But seriously, please...
Come to our house.
Please. No, invite us to ours. Because that's much better.
Don't know, though.
I know, it's nice here. It's
I feel like he's quite low-key.
Come here, hang out, and we'll all go back to yours.
We don't want all of our super... Oh, what, Elon Musk? Yeah, that's
man.
fine. I thought you meant all of our super fans. They can't come here.
No, Elon. I'm talking to Elon. Like, the fans haven't earned it yet.
Obviously, Elon Musk is going to... He would become our best friend immediately. Also,
Plus,
you are
fans,
twins. You are twins.
Yeah. Elon, I look like you.
Elon, I look like you.
Good luck, babe. Like looking in the mirror. It's a shame the brains aren't the same.
Yeah, no, all the bank account, that would be nice as well. But
the willies are the same. Okay, there we go. Blown
edit,
it now. If he was going to come round, they've blown it now.
Blown it.
Blown it.
Sorry, Mr. Musk.
Nah, he's cool. He's chilled. He's chilling. He's got his car in space.
I wonder what he's doing right now. What's Elon doing right now?
I'll tell you what he's doing.
Probably sleeping,
He's probably,
right?
No,
because he's in
no,
the
he
moon.
doesn't sleep, man.
Why are you sort of tapping?
I know that for a fact. Doesn't sleep.
Why are you like, he doesn't sleep?
It doesn't sleep. When it's like...
He sounded so Italian. He doesn't sleep.
Hey, there's a dummy.
We've literally lost the plot so bad.
Oh yeah, so Elon Musk said, and it's true, in my opinion.
Same truth.
Any opinion that Elon has is my opinion, by the way.
No, you just refer to Elon.
Elon, I'm on a first name basis now.
Eli.
Hey, yo, Elo, what's up? It's the boy.
Wow. Edit.
He said, we need like a red light or something flashes so we know in the editing process.
Okay, honey.
Oh my god. We've got hyperactive.
We've done it definitely. This is how almost every conversation that we can only be serious. Did you hear Abo?
Abo. Calm down.
We can only be serious for about an hour and then... Yeah, well, not even that.
37 minutes, I think it was. He said that with the rate of technology, at this current rate of improvement, or any rate of improvement at all, right? So, throughout the span of time in humanity, because we probably got another, like, at least maybe 100 million years, is that we'll get to a stage where computers can have the process. Yeah, sorry. So he's like sprawled over it. That we can get computers that can, like quantum computers are a thing already. And you know, like the size of the computers in the 50s, right? Like this like medium range laptop is way more powerful than that. And that's like 60, 70 years ago. What are computers going to be like in 100 years? Yeah,
you can't even imagine it, can you?
We might get to a stage where we can make simulated universes, right? And why wouldn't we? We kind of would want to. We'd want to create...
It's like Sims.
It's like Sims.
It would be like Sims 10.
Exactly. So let's say rather than little people like eating food, you could create civilizations. Like maybe with some kid's science project.
Do you know, I always used to... I grew up and I had... You know when you had like these weird kiddie thoughts all the time? I literally used to think...
That sounds a bit weird.
Weird kiddie thoughts, podcast number 1.
For the record, edit. For the record, I'm going to have weird kiddie thoughts.
I mean, when you're a kid and you have those, like, weird thoughts. I used to always think, like, what if we were some kind of civilization?
Shrivelization. That's what happens when you get in cold water, guys.
That's not funny. What was I saying? I was always like, what if we were like some kind of thing of like, you know, collection of germs that have formed on like some kid's scabby hand? Like, I always used to think things like that. How do we know that we're not?
Well, you know that thing I was watching the other day?
What
Fractals.
Thing? Oh, that's a whole thing,
That
honey.
blew my mind.
So, you love a fractal.
I love a fractal. Everything is fractal though.
Yeah.
You look at your fingers, fractal. Like, you've got this little bit here, a bigger bit again. So in a tree trunk and then a branch and then it branches out. That's fractals. From like the smallest, like atoms, all the way up to galaxies, everything kind of has the same. Well, it does. It follows the same suit. Nature has a code, the Fibonacci sequence, and that doesn't just apply to that image of broccoli or whatever. You know, that famous picture where it's like, whoa, trippy. I mean, it's on the
trippy broccoli.
It's on the plants over there now. It's like, say, I don't know. We're getting deep
babe.
now. No! It's okay, we're still recording the audio.
Oh no, we've been filming this like visually for...
Fucking hell. Oh, edit.
We've been filming this for a long time and we've just realised...
Tell me that's recorded at least. Yeah, is it?
Yeah, it's recorded.
Okay,
for sure.
Why has it done that?
Oh no. I knew it would. I thought it would the camera. I just thought like, oh, you know, whatever.
When did we lose it?
Should we do that after?
It was only 20 minutes recorded.
Yeah, I knew it would be. I just forgot to check.
It's okay.
Are you gonna... Maybe we should just do this one audio. I mean, do you want to wrap it up? Or just sit there on the camera?
You can record it again. So we lost 20 minutes. No, more than that.
Oh no, way more than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's been like 30 minutes.
No mind. Well,
I think we just do this one for video.
Yeah.
We'll just do this one audio.
We'll chuck a little bit of audio in there. A video. Whatever.
Like a taster. We can do a little taster.
It's a taster, man.
Anyway, cool.
Not going to let that upset me.
I feel like we've lost the spiral of lucid dreaming, but that pretty much wraps it up.
Lucid dreams.
I do feel like this is probably one of many of lucid dreams though, because...
Maybe this is a lucid dream. Hang on, let me just check.
Wait, let me check.
We're good.
No, it's cool.
Unfortunately,
I only have five fingers. Okay, cool. Wow.
And we tapped on... Well, we just started tapping into like simulation theory there.
I think maybe that's definitely a Jeff
one.
Pullen podcast there. You can take the reins on that one. You can teach me.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Why is the son doing that?
Why is the son doing that?
Okay.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah.
You're done?
I'm done.
Okay, how long was that? 52 minutes. No, let's take it up to an hour. Come on.
Dude,
let's fluff this out.
I need to wee.
Okay, you have a wee out. Leave me with the people. the sorry people.
The sorry people. She's the queen.
Alright, she's just walking off now. Right, finally got you alone. Yep, so that sums it up. We're not, like I say, we're not like just crazy ass hippies. A lot of the other things we want to talk about are like businesses, marketing, like some of the success stories and sort of massive failures of businesses and what we can do to learn from both of these sides of the story. Like what happened to Blockbuster, what happened to Kodak. I want to talk about that. Some viral marketing. And we're going to get into some deep stuff later on in further episodes, some dark stuff.
Were you talking about marketing there?
Yeah. I'm just talking about some of the other stuff. We're not just going to be talking about hippie stuff, because although hippie stuff is fun, it's also fun to keep a grip on reality, like this reality, like the system. It's not that great, but you have to have a grasp on it in order to become relevantly successful.
I mean, this has literally been the ramblings of a couple drinking wine, but it's been fun. It's been really fun.
Definitely. I've really enjoyed it. And like I say, it's a relief.
It's very funny. I think we both need some kind of creative
we need an outlet. And if no one listens to us except us,
it's been a lot.
It's worth it. Like, because we'll piss ourselves in about 10 years listening to this.
It'll be like your Radio 1 little...
Yeah, and I need to find that.
I think that should be a podcast on its own. Just the recording of you on Radio 1.
But also internet radio that I'm doing currently. Starting from in the future, in the next few days. But I've been doing it since I was 14 on and off.
14? You were that young?
Yeah, before my voice broke.
No.
Yeah.
Do you think you could get hold? That would be so cool if you could get hold of that.
Recordings.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about creating content. I've been creating content before it was cool. I'm literally a hipster now.
Okay. All right, Zoella.
Oh, we met Zoella?
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Zoella. Hi Zoella, if you're listening.
And Zoella, do you want to come around? Can you imagine?
We did meet Zoella. She's absolutely lovely.
She's cool. She's wearing dungarees.
We just like literally bumped into her on Brighton Pier.
Yeah, she was cool. She didn't want to be harassed, but she did it in a nice way. Because
she was very nice. She was really respectful.
She had a bit of an entourage. Her boyfriend, what's his name?
She had her boyfriend Alfie and
Alfie. We spoke to Alfie. He was cool. He was like, "Hey guys, like."
Well, I think I said, "Can I get a photo?" Because it wasn't me. It was Jeff's young nieces are obsessed with her, and then we sort of noticed her, and we were like, "Oh my god, that's Zoella!" So obviously, I went up and was like, "Hi, would it be possible to get a photo?" And Alfie was super respectful. Was like, if you get a photo, then it's gonna cause a scene, and then it's just gonna turn into a whole thing.
We didn't want to draw a crowd to her. She was just.
I mean, we understand because we're internet famous too now, so
yeah,
we get it.
Well, to be fair, like just with my business, I guess
that's
stopped.
not the same. This is not the same.
Well, okay, stopped in Tesco.
Got stopped in Tesco.
Oh, Tesco.
No, we do get stopped.
And
we did anyway
before we moved away from there. And although it's fine, it's not. Like, I love talking to my customers at 8 o'clock at night when I'm just stressed. At the same time, if you're someone
like her, you know, like not.
I'm not a millionaire though.
But not that it was a problem at all. But I feel like she would not be famous if it wasn't for her fans. You know. So it's kind of...
You can say that about any...
No, I know, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's the same.
But I didn't... Even though they were like, hey guys, don't want any photos, I didn't get the impression it was rude.
And she took time out of her day.
She did talk to us, yeah.
Oh yeah, she bent down, she was chatting to the girls.
And
she made probably their week. They were so hyper.
Yeah.
They'll never forget that.
I mean, I didn't really care at the time, but now I can actually literally...
And also she was completely stunning. She was really pretty.
Yeah.
And so was Alfie.
Yeah,
Alfie was really
pretty.
kind.
She was really pretty.
So don't come
dude. Can I just say real quick? We've got we've got 2 minutes. I just want to say that I met Ainsley Harriott. And Ainsley, if you're listening. He was a cool guy. I just want to say, I want to big up Ainsley Harriott right now.
He's
right?
A legend.
I mean, this was...
I haven't said legend about 8 years. I don't know where that came from.
It came from 2012.
They want it back.
I was like 11. I'm like nearly 30 now. So this is like more than 20, around about 20 years ago. Is that right? Am I that old?
Wait, what? You were 11?
Yeah. I'm like 30 in June, right? So...
19.
Maybe 10 or 11.
18.
Oh no, 11 I would have... This is when I was in primary school in year 6. So I would have been 10, right? 9 or 10? Anyway, I met Ainsley Harriott. And we was at this place.
At the end of the day.
And I actually like crawl into this tent. Abo, please. Jesus. Edit. Crawled into this tent and he was awesome. He shook my hand.
It's also like you were at a festival and you like just went into a little tent and Ainsley was there.
It was kind of like a festival.
It was like a cooking tent, right?
No. It was an event held by Virgin Atlantic Airways or whatever it is.
Yeah.
He's doing that on purpose. Abo!
We've got a little for you Lebanese viewers that don't know us.
For you Singaporean.
Yeah, I mean, you probably don't know us, but Avo's, we've got a budgie called
Dude,
Avo.
we're gonna exploit him. We're gonna exploit him on YouTube because apparently budgie videos get like 500k views.
I mean, you say apparently, we're probably 100k of those views.
Yeah, just to keep him
Anyway,
happy.
Ainsley.
He's a great guy. He's a stand-up guy. And he was talking to this other guy, and he was like, he kind of sneered at me, like, who's this pauper child?
You were a pauper child?
I was a pauper child. I probably had a hole in my shoe, because I was in a council estate.
And mud on your face.
And I was like, sorry, Ainsley, but my support teacher, you know, the teachers that support the main teacher.
Yeah.
Hence
Back
the
up
name.
dancer.
Backup dancer. Backup teacher.
You know, support teachers, the one that support the teachers.
Yeah, they'd stand behind the teacher, like putting their leg behind
like,
their ear. That's right. D, it comes after C. You heard it right, bitch.
This was supposed to be a family-friendly affair, but okay, cool.
Hi, Mum. Hi, Mum. I reckon my mum will listen to this. Hi, Mum. Edit. What the fuck was I saying? Ainsley. Anyway, he shook my hand. He signed the thing. It was great. Anyway, so we've padded it out to an hour now. Finally.
Thank God.
Cut the whole fucking shit off the end of it. No, it's been fun. It's been fun.
We love you so much. Thank you so much for the support. All million, I mean, what are we on now? Million viewers? Million listeners?
No one's listening.
It's been great.
We're off.
Love you.
Edit. Hang on, edit.
Bye.
Bye.